everybody. My name is Tamia Fowlkes. I'm a reporter for the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and I'm here with the stunning, gorgeous, so stylish Audrey Nuna today. She's performing at Summerfest this week, and we're going to talk all about new music, K-Pop Demon Hunters, and how someone can put together a fire outfit like this. So, to start, Audrey, I just want to ask you how you feeling to be here.
I feel great. I just ate a good amount of sushi, so I'm kind of full. I don't know, actually. I don't know where it was from.
Local sushi.
Yeah, I had some local Wisconsin sushi, and it was great, honestly.
Have you ever been to Wisconsin before? Is this your first time performing in the city?
This is really sad, but I don't remember if I've been here before. I think I have passed through, because I remember having Culver's, and I do think it was here, but I think it was on a tour drive-through type of thing. It wasn't like I stayed here and tried the cheese or anything, you know.
I want to talk about your music because I love Trench so much, and I feel like you are such a beautiful experimenter with samples and also just with finding a fresh sound. I want to ask you who your artistic inspirations have been in trying to find your music sound, and then also, just how you're feeling about performing those songs here.
Yeah, inspired by so many different people from so many different walks of life. Lately, I've been super inspired by Daft Punk. But I think coming up, Childish Gambino and Donald Glover was a huge influence. My producer was obsessed with Sade, so Sade was a huge influence. MF Doom and that album he has with Madlib, just the crazy use of sampling. A lot of different people, but then also Elliott Smith and Dieter Rams as a designer, and just a lot of different influences. And just grandmas on the street who are swaggy.
Yes. Now, you sample The Boy Is Mine in one of your songs, and I want to ask you just how hard it is to get an iconic sample. You've also got Pop, Lock, and Drop It on this album, and so for you, when you're pulling those pieces, is it usually you listening to that song and then saying, I'm going to riff off of this, or is it kind of reversed, where you have inspiration, then you're it'd be cool to add this piece here?
Actually, for Lock It, it was kind of that. It was kind of very, organically happened. It wasn't planned, and then for The Boy Is Mine, that was very intentional and very much wanted it to be an ode to 90s R&B because, I think there's just so many amazing women in 90s R&B who kind of brought this attitude, but also a sensitivity and a softness that I really loved. So that one was really intentional. And to answer your first question, it is very hard to clear certain samples, but God bless, because my team, they were able to get it done.
Definitely. Now, we have to talk about K-Pop Demon Hunters, of course. You're the voice of Mira, or the singing voice of Mira in that film. And for you, I want to ask what it was like to bring a Korean character to life in an animated form, and maybe what that meant to you. I know you talked a lot in interviews about not always feeling like you had that representation when you were younger. So what has it been like to live that through?
It means everything, honestly. I feel like it's not only a response to the journey I've had as an artist in this industry, but also just a human on this earth. I think, growing up in a pretty non-diverse town in New Jersey, I never really felt represented, and I felt it was such a dream to be a part of the movement to feel more represented, and for, not just Asian American people, but anyone who feels like they might not fit into any box, to feel more represented. So someone like Mira, a character like that, is just a dream to lend my voice to and channel as a character, because I think she's so human. As much as she is an outcast, she's also such a human, and there's so much duality in who she is, and I feel like I've just related to that. And also, pink is my favorite color, and her hair is pink, so
we love that.
Perfect. Yeah.
And you talk about your upbringing in New Jersey quite a bit. For you, we're a hometown paper, so we love a hometown story. What elements of your upbringing, being close to New York, I know you auditioned for a Broadway show pretty early on. What elements of where you grew up made you the artist that you are today?
That's a good question. I think the boredom, for sure. Not really having anything to do and having to use your imagination and to kind of fight the boredom. I think proximity to a lot of stimulation in Manhattan and the city in general, but not necessarily having to be there all the time. It was this, again, the duality of being able to practice a very bold side of who I was, especially in college because I went to NYU, but then also kind of just be a introverted homebody weirdo person who just liked making random stuff at home. And I think that the balance of those two is everything for me. Also, I think, yeah, in a sense, like not having a lot of diversity, I think was really formative to who I was and what I wanted to see more of growing up.
You talk a lot about wanting the younger generation to have access to more resources to be artists and to pursue those artistic and creative opportunities. In what way do you find pathways to do that through your work?
I think there's a lot of different ways. For sure, I think one is just speaking your own truth. And when you speak your own truth, hopefully you can inspire other people to do the same and to not be afraid to do that. And then I think also just on a very tactical level, like actually giving resources and using your platform for something good. I'm blessed to have a team that's really about that and is really down to support those types of endeavors. So we've been doing a fundraiser for Luminos Fund, which is an amazing organization that helps kids in sub-Saharan African countries gain a second chance at education, which is incredible. Working with kids in need of defense helps kids get legal defense resources who are dealing with immigration issues, keeping families together. I think it's like a combination of, yeah, it's amazing to do that through art, but I think it's also in this day and age, just trying as hard as you can to put money and resources behind the things that you believe in whatever way you can as an individual. But everyone can help out in a way that feels authentic and real to them.
Definitely. I do want to talk a little bit about style. You talked a lot. Thank you. And you've talked a lot about your grandfather too, who, worked in garments and in fashion for a long time. Would you say that that's been part of the influence for you finding your artistic and your fashion sense? Can you just talk about how you find that style?
I was really shy growing up, and even just like talking to people was really hard for me. And I think that fashion was one of the first outlets for me, even in tandem with singing, maybe even before singing, who knows, that I really was able to just make my own decisions and kind of practice picking what I liked, And I remember I'd pull up in the craziest outfits as like a 7-year-old, and my mom would be like, "Why are you wearing orange pants with a purple top?" But
that's
for
a good
me,
color
it was
combo.
Just, thank you. You see, you got it.
I get it.
And I think that was just like my safe space, especially being around a family that got its survival, basically, was able to make a new life for itself in a new country through clothing manufacturing and supporting designers' visions. I think that just always felt like a very safe space for me. I remember going in on Saturdays to my dad's work and just making things and trying things and touching fabric and just having fun.
Definitely. Well, I want to talk a little bit about the show tonight. I have some sense that you might be introducing some new music, or teasing it at least. Can you tell us what we can expect to see on stage and maybe what people can anticipate from you in the next couple months?
Yeah. I wanted to do this thing with this festival run where I just kind of premiere new songs and see how it feels in like a live space. As you know, I'm sure the world is so digital right now, and as great as it has been in some ways, I think just the chance to do sweaty, human, disgustingly stinky things sometimes is important. And for me, that's like seeing how these songs relate to people in a live space without it being out. So I have a song coming out soon called Superhuman that I'm excited about. I'm going to be trying that out tonight. And just seeing what the energy is in the room, or not in the room, in the
in the space, in the atmosphere.
Yeah, in the amphitheater in Milwaukee.
Definitely. Well, I want to ask you one last question, which is for anyone who wants to pursue music or art, or even is just trying to channel a little pop star energy in their everyday life, what is the way that you get in that mindset, and how have you found outlets to really empower yourself to create and be, the artist that you want to be?
Star energy. Yeah, what is that? I need those tips too. Thank you. I think honestly something that's helped me a lot in my life is like silence, and just I think a lot of times when you don't really know how to express yourself, it's not because you don't have a personality, it's just because you don't have enough maybe time to be still and kind of hear that person inside. Sounds like a greeting card from Hallmark or something. But no, I think it's true. I think the more silence and the more time you can spend sometimes just sitting in quiet, it gives you a lot of clarity to like the voices in your head. that are trying to speak to you.
Absolutely. I love it. I have also one more question. I know you're 27. This is like a Saturn return year. I don't know if you're an astrology person, but people say this is a big year for coming into oneself, for realizing the visions of who they wanted to be. What have you learned over the past year, especially in your kind of skyrocket K-pop Demon Hunters era that maybe has changed you?
I've learned so much. I think one thing that I've learned is that I was a very bad communicator, and I think art has always been my way of communicating. But it is beautiful, I think, to learn now as a 27-year-old more how to communicate with people in my life, and I feel like I always thought that I could lean on art for that, and I can. But I think that I realized if I figure out a lot of personal things, the way that feeds into my art has been really eye-opening. So, yeah, I would say just like say the thing. If there's something on your heart you want to tell someone, and I guess just don't be passive aggressive, because I struggle with that a lot, and I'm working on it now. Yeah.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for your wisdom, for your artistry. I'm so excited to see you live. And Audrey Nuna, everybody, check her out. New music coming soon, and amazing outfits on Instagram. Follow. It's amazing. All right,
Thank you. Journal Sentinel.